Hey there everyone, it's Carrie with Any Day Blessings, and today I have a video for you that's probably the hardest video I've ever had to make. It's caused me a lot of mental trouble, like just, emotional, maybe not mental, but emotional trouble, just going back and forth about how to say this and what to say this, and even if I should say this. I've never done kind of a soapbox style video before. Typically on this channel you can find homeschool reviews, updates on our homeschool journey, little bits of frugal living and thankful living mixed in, and some fun vlog videos as I decide to make them. But primarily this is just a very basic, informational, uplifting place about homeschool. And so this video is related to homeschool, but it's kind of a different tone. It's nothing that I've ever intended to do with my channel, which is address trends or disappointing things I see. I've stayed away from some of the other bigger issues that have circled the homeschool community. I've just not commented on them and just kind of moved forward. But I will be honest, this really hurt my heart. This really upset me as a Christian, as a mom, and as a homeschooler. So I would like to just share what I hope is some encouragement with you all if you have seen this same kind of behavior happening. But also, more than anything, what I would like to do is I would like to offer a replacement. The biblical principle of replacement. If there's something you should stop doing, well then what should you start doing instead? And these are just my suggestions after prayerfully considering this and thinking, what would I do if this happened to me? What would I like to be done? And so let's go. Let's dive in. Now that you're all in suspense, like, what is she going to start talking about here? If you haven't followed my blog, I have already addressed this in a blog post in a shorter form. And I'm just going to refer you to that. I will leave a link below in the comments to that post where I kind of describe the issue, the problem that I'm seeing. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about that today. I'll just real briefly address it. But I would encourage you to go over there because maybe you've not really seen this behavior. Maybe you've not really seen this trend popping up. And you're like, I don't know what she's talking about. So head over to the blog and you can read more about it there. But in this video, what I would like to do is offer 5 things that I think that we as homeschool parents can do to encourage all of those moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, aunts and uncles, whoever, who have now suddenly found themselves in a new world of responsibility, unimaginable changes going on in so many lives right now. From what I understand from lots of other YouTubers, I can't reference the situation directly or else my video might get, kiboshed or something. But if you're watching in 2020 or you can remember in the spring, late winter, early spring of 2020, what was going on in the world and the fact that we're all at home and we're all trying to stay healthy, then you know what I'm talking about, okay? And that situation has made a lot of unintentional choices for families. I mean, authorities are making choices for a lot of families that they never intended to make on their own. And one of those is schooling their kids at home. But hang on, because I'm going to challenge that idea, okay? So just hang on with me for a bit. But that's how a lot of people feel. They feel an increased burden of responsibility, things, just practical things like, now they're trying to work at home, but their kids are there, or maybe they had night shift jobs and they slept while their kids were at public school, and now they have to try and sleep while their kids are actually in the house. Oh yeah, and actually get their school lessons done with them now and make sure they're logging on and doing this and that and the other. And maybe people are trying to care for elderly parents too, and that's been made more challenging. So there's a whole host of practical, logistical things. Maybe the kids didn't get to empty out their desks or their lockers, and they literally have nothing at home in the way of supplies. And try ordering something on Amazon right now that's at all considered a basic supply, and you're waiting 2 months to get it. You can't find it at the store. So you see what I'm saying? There's just, I don't have to really tell you. You all probably are facing the same thing. there's just a lot of practical, logistical problems that a lot of people are facing. And what they don't need, in addition to that, is to come to a place where they think they're getting help. A homeschool Facebook group, or a blog, or a YouTube channel, even, about homeschooling. What those parents don't need is to find snarky memes and ha-ha jokes, how do you like us now sort of things. Oh, look, now you're a homeschooler too. How socialized are your kids? We need to stop that. We need to stop that. That is not helpful, it's not gracious, and it's elitist. And it really makes me upset to see it. I'm kind of laughing because, like I said, I'm very uncomfortable making this video, and so kind of maybe it's a little bit of a nervous laugh. But truly, it makes me uncomfortable and sad, truly sad, because I know how helpful the homeschool community is. I know what a great group of people are here, and it's unbecoming to act that way. And imagine having all of that thrown upon you and going somewhere that's like, it looks like it would be like a beacon of help and hope and find that this is what they think of you and your family. It's just ugly. So go over to the blog. I explain that more. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe you haven't seen those things. I hope so. I hope it's not so widespread. But do look at the blog. One little disclaimer before I get into my 5 things that I think we could do instead. One little disclaimer. I mentioned that I kind of feel that those comments come off as elitist, almost like an us up here and them, because, we chose to homeschool in the beginning. Just knock that off. Just knock it off. Okay, just stop. Just don't do that. Please don't do that. If you want to talk that way, just talk that way to yourself in the mirror. Don't put that on Facebook or in a blog or on a YouTube comment, okay? Because it is elitist, and there isn't an us versus them. We're parents trying to make good decisions for our kids, and the percentage of parents who are truly malevolent to their kids, is that the right word? Meaning harm to their kids is like fractional, you guys. I mean, what parent means to make a harmful choice for their child? I would say it's 0 or almost 0, okay? So, this idea of, this elitist tone to the conversation, it just has to stop. I'm getting flustered because it does make me really upset. Okay, let's just move on. I want to let you know a little disclaimer. In this video, just for sake of ease and not having to over explain myself, I'm going to say them or they, meaning the parents or the families who now find themselves in an incredibly difficult situation with very little preparation, time to prepare for it, and have all of these responsibilities kind of thrust onto them at once. Please don't take that to mean any us versus them, elitist. When I say they or them, that's not my heart, but I just wanted to offer that disclaimer. All right, 5 things I think we could do instead. 5 things that I think we could do to encourage these families. Number 1, remind them of what they have. Remind them that there's still a teacher or teachers in their corner, kind of steering the ship, giving them assignments, in different situations, even giving live video lectures and teaching. Some teachers are going to Facebook and creating Facebook groups where they can do live videos. Some teachers are actually, believe it or not, giving out their text or their phone number so students can text them. That's a brave teacher, but some are doing it in my area. There are tons and tons of resources that they have already. They are not meant to assume this great responsibility. By and large, they are not meant to assume this great responsibility of determining what assignments to do, what to teach each day. That is not meant to be put on them. There's still a teacher, there's still a school in the background that's going to be their partner in this and help them. You need to remind them of that. Remind them, it's okay, well, what is your school doing? Do you have a device? Have they given you a device? Okay, no, we've got to figure that out. Do you have a teacher? Contact information for a teacher, and what is she going to do, or what is he going to do? Is he going to send you assignments for the week, and you have to space them out, or is it a daily thing? Talk through what resources they have. They have help, and sometimes when you're blindsided with an incredible amount of responsibility and challenge, it's hard to remember the resources that you already have. A gracious, helpful response to these parents that come looking for help would just be to simply remind them that they're not in this alone, and that the homework helper role and the let's make sure you get all your work done role, it's been kicked up a notch for sure. But it's not been totally changed. It's not been totally a role reversal to now where you are teacher mom. That's not what's happening by and large. And you need to remind them of that because it will help them. I've seen it happen. It will help them. Number 2, you need to let them know that this is not homeschool. What we are all experiencing right now, being confined to our houses and, asked not to do sports and library time and classes at Metro Parks and this and that and the other, that is not homeschool. I honestly didn't realize how much we aren't home until this whole thing started. I'm really only home without any activity 2 days a week. And that just kind of really surprised me. I really didn't know that we were on the go that much. It just has kind of felt like a natural rhythm and routine to us. And I didn't really realize how much we homeschool not at home. So they need to know this isn't homeschool. Why? Well, number 1, because I've heard a lot of people say that they'd like to homeschool, but they just didn't think that they could do it. Or maybe some of them have said, I want to try and make this work. I want to try and see if we can homeschool, and this is a good trial. This is not a good representation of homeschooling. And I would hate to see people get jaded by it or shun and turn away from it, because this is a very different situation. And I don't think it represents what homeschool is like at all. And they need to know that, because I think that once they're able to overcome all of the practical logistical things that have now changed in their life, many of them will enjoy some of the benefits that we all have been homeschooling up until now, the benefits that we've known, which is all that extra time with your kids and getting to see them learn things and getting to know them and having that freedom of schedule. So they need to know this is not truly homeschooling. Number 3, when they come to you for help, because they will, give them small bits of information. Don't send them 37 different lap book printables. Don't send them a list of all the books that you recommend that they read. Don't send them your schedule that is, written out in 15-minute increments of every little thing you do during the day. Don't send them, a bunch of websites. Be very specific to their question and give them small bites of information. The reason is you've had a long time as an intentional homeschool parent, meaning you intended to homeschool. You've had a long time to review all this information. You have had months and sometimes years to pick out your homeschool materials, and to imagine if somebody just threw all of that, all of the knowledge that you've gained over the time that you've been researching, and just threw it at you. I mean, that would be overwhelming, especially because they may think that they're supposed to do all those things. They may not understand that they can pick and choose, and this is just a buffet. You pick and choose what you want. Give small bites of information. For example, if somebody came to me and asked, the teacher has said spend 20 minutes reading every day. What do I have them read? And I wouldn't send them to reading lists. I wouldn't send them, again, and any links, that would have a whole catalog of books. I would say, well, so-and-so, when my child was that age, these are the books that we read, and give them 5 or 6 titles. And then say, if those don't work for you, I do have a much longer list, but I think there'll probably be something on that list that they enjoy. Or maybe if they come to you and say, I need some help figuring out websites that are safe to use or that are educational that I can give to my child so that I can get an hour of work in, because I'm trying to work from home now. Again, sending them a whole bunch, just say, well, when I'm trying to get something done, this is the website, and just give them 1 or 2. Don't give them this huge list of everything that you've come to know and love in homeschool. Just small bites of information. Number 4, offer some practical help. This could be something as simple as, hey, when they come to you and say, I'm having a hard time, getting some work time in, and they're just, how do you do this? How do you get laundry done and food done? And then, now I'm trying to do a 40-hour-a-week job at home and check in on my mom. How am I going to do all this? Well, if it would help, I'm about to teach an art lesson to my son and daughter. Would you like me to try and do that over Facebook Live? And I could put the camera down and your kids could just do the art project with us, and I could do step by step and give you about half an hour of time. Would that help? Or how about, later on today, if that doesn't work for you, I could do my read aloud over video, and your kids could tune in, and I'll show them the pictures and ask them questions, and it'll be almost like a virtual story time for them. Would that help in buying you some time? Things that you're already doing, offer to include that mama's children in, so that mama can do work or check in on an elderly parent or whatever it is. Things that she has not been used to doing all at one time, which for any of us would be a huge adjustment and a blindsiding moment. Offer to help in a practical way. Take some of that responsibility off of her hands, or at least offer to do so if you can. Also, one thing that I was kind of, I wouldn't say surprised to hear, but I just didn't realize would be an issue for a lot of people, is the fact that the restaurants are shut down. A lot of families would stop and get carry out, or stop and just have a meal on their way home from a soccer game, or maybe grab something on the way home from work. If you're not home all day and you have to go to an evening activity, you might not have a dinner plan at home. You may not have something cooking at home ready to go. And so you may have had to stop and get stuff. I've been there many, many times. Thankfully, now that I'm home more during the day, or at least parts of the day, I can get something going. But, a lot of families, that had 2 working parents and kids in school and kid activities after school, even just something like dinner, like I have to work this in too, that's another thing. I didn't used to cook as much at home. We ate out quite a bit, and now nothing's open and we can't do that. Oh, well, I have a little timer on my phone, friend, and I just have it go off to remind me every day to think of dinner, because I don't remember it either. And I'm here all day and I don't remember it. I don't remember to start dinner. When I get my little reminder, do you want me to shoot you a quick text and remind you to lay out some meat for supper? Or would you like, me to text you in the morning real quick what I'm making, and maybe that'll give you an idea of something to make? It's a gracious gesture, and it's so much more kind than, I bet we look like superheroes to you now. It's just so disappointing. It's just so disappointing to find those things when we could be doing this and being helpful. All right, the number 5 thing, the number 5 thing, the 5th thing that I would offer as a suggestion that you could do instead of, responding in kind of that joking, teasing way, I would suggest being a sounding board. Just listen. Just listen. They may not want your schedule or your routine or a list of books to read. They might not want you to fix all that's wrong with, you know, juggling all these responsibilities. They just may want you to listen and be a true friend, and, you know, you don't have to suggest anything. As they're pouring on all of these concerns that they have and frustrations, you don't even have to offer a suggestion unless they ask you. You could just say, I'm praying for you, or I'm so sorry you're going through this. You know, I'm here to help. You know, just ask. You know, maybe they just want someone to sound off to. Maybe they just want a sounding board, someone to listen. So be that. Be a sounding board. Be a listener for these families, for these mamas that are just in a total new, unprecedented situation. So that's it. This was hard for me, you guys. This was hard to make. I don't typically like using this format for sharing something like this. I don't think in most situations it's the best choice, because I believe a lot of these types of talks, these heart-to-heart talks that you have, are based on years of friendship and trust and knowing somebody else. So, but the more and more I thought about it, I just felt like I need to say something. So I hope it's received well. I hope it's a blessing to you. I hope if you are one of the newer folks to my channel that you stay with me. I don't do this ever. We'll get back to showing you my daughter's kindergarten choices. That video is coming up. I love kindergarten. Oh, we all love kindergarten. I wish we could just do kindergarten every year over and over and over again and didn't have to do the other grades, because kindergarten's great. That video is coming up. I'm going to do an update on Apology of Science. That was requested by one of you all, actually a couple of you. And I think those are the next two. I might do a video on knotgrass, similar to what I just put up for my junior kindergarten video, showing you some of the hands-on projects. I did a video showing you, I might just put that on Instagram. I think I'm just gonna put that on Instagram, because I did do a video showing you in the book itself what the projects were. I'll just show you some of the final products. I'll just do like a little Instagram gallery or video and put that over there. So that's what's coming up. That's what you normally can expect here, and I hope that you come back and subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care, everyone.